Hootney snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bub and Rumbuka joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the Hootney.
Hey everyone, welcome along to Trackside with Kokpit, brought to you by TWS Technical Welding Services and Vasey Engineering and Supplies. And you can tell it's just Kins doing it solo for a Wednesday evening. As most of you have read on our Facebook page, my friend Craig Booker is a little under the weather, so not in the best situation to kind of join us. What you'll get out of him is a lot of coughing and a lot of spluttering, but he's in a good place. Reset up. It's worse than the man flu. Trust me, I tell you that. And he's just a little under the weather. Joining us not too far away, going to catch up with Sonja Hickey. We'll find out what's going on at the Toolshed Paradise Valley Speedway ahead of the season, how development's been happening off-season, but also some of the big championships that are coming up as well, and what you can look forward to over there in Rotorua. Aaron Ferguson, mate, I'm all good. But yeah, Booker, hopefully he'll get a bit better. Brian England, how are you going? Richie Mason, Richard and Trudy, who's counting down the days. 61 days till Stratford Raw to life. Richie Mason, hi. Kerry Gates, Wayne Otten's going to get there a bit quicker than you, the Aldridge family. He's got 52 days until the opening night. Race suits will fit as Mike Harvey. How you going, Mike? How you going there? Thomas Scott, Barry Hunter, Ian Wilson. Good to be back on another night, definitely is. And yeah, not too sure what is the actual Rona, to be honest, Mike, but I'm looking forward to catching up with you and Sam as well. Fair bit going on around the motorsport world at the moment. Just recently up in my area, up around the Coromandel, Whitianga area, they had the what they call the Rally of New Zealand in the Coromandel. And we've interviewed him on our show a little while back as well, Ben Hunt. He was up there doing his thing, but the streets of Whitianga turned into a bit of a rally circuit, and just good to have it back up there as well. I'll give you more updates on that, hey, throughout the show. The Giz out there as well, I think ran 6 laps in front on the oval, which is not too bad for the Giz. We know he's carving up in America on the road courses at the moment, but there's a fair bit going on at the stage around motorsport, and as we say, we count down to the Speedway season. Plenty going on everywhere, so, get through that wet weather and everything like that. Let's hope that's kind of having its last wintry blast as we say farewell to August this coming weekend. September's just around the corner, get into October. Speedway season starts for a few. Green sheets will be taking place for a few of the drivers out there as well, and no doubt some of the volunteers will be looking forward to getting back around their tracks up and down the country. This is where we continue on, catching up with some of these track promoters just to see what's coming up for the upcoming season, keeping you, the fans who are watching, what you can expect. And I know you're excited as already we see the dates are counting down to the Speedway season. So definitely looking forward to seeing how that rolls out with the upcoming season. All excited. We do know too, the New Zealand Sprint Car Championship. We're hoping to have a representative from the Cromwell Speedway to give us the update what's coming up there, but she hasn't got back, so we'll just wait for that and catch up with her as that event gets closer. And no doubt if you keep an eye and follow all the Facebook pages, you will be able to see how things are progressing. And it was great. And I've got to say thank you to everyone. We had some massive comments and great support from our show last week with Wade Jennings, the project manager for the update on Waikaraka Park. And already the photos today, if you go to social media, have been shared on their page and also on the Western Springs page. Rest in peace to Tasman rugby player as well, former Māori player, played a bit of Super Rugby. We're thinking of Shane and his family at this time. How you going there, Sam? Huntley also got coming up too in a couple of weeks. Go-karts back on the track as well. Just to give you a heads up too, before you start asking in the comments what's coming up next week, as promised, only Amron has been doing the awards with us before having a little break there. He's going to be joining Booker. Let's hope Booker's all well, and he'll be back with us next Wednesday, 7:30. So we're going to give you the full rundown on the AMS Awards. Michael Rose, how are you, Mike? Good to have you on the show. I think that's a bit enough yabba jabba for me. We're going to bring Sonja in because I'll run out of voice. Let's get Sonja in to have a bit of a chat. Hey, Sonja, how are you?
Oh, I'm well, and yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain, Sonja. You know how it works. No bugger bloody listens.
I know. It's sad, but it's true.
Hey, going forward with the track and Rotorua, new sponsor on board, Toolshed.
We have got the toolshed on board, and I'd like to thank Johnny, John White, which is affectionately known around here as Johnny Toolshed, for I approached him earlier on and said, what do you reckon? And he says, yeah, go for it. So put a proposal together, and yeah, it's not a sponsorship as much as a partnership, because our members will benefit as well, and they will benefit from our members. So it's more of a partnership than a sponsorship. With it'll do for both of us. So yeah, no, it's great. It's we're very lucky to have them, and they've been very easy to deal with. They've been great.
Yeah, awesome. It's always good news, always to, like you say, you make a friendship that's everlasting. But, that's just one of those things. And have the Toolshed back on board. Knowing Johnny obviously makes it work, and he's got a passion for Speedway and everything like that. So just seems to be the ideal way to get them on board.
Yeah, well, along with the Toolshed, of course, with John is Makita coming in for the team's champs again. So they found value in that last year. So they're back on board with the team's champs. So that's a double bonus. And there'll be another raffle like there was last year. We're just going through all the processes and the legalities of that at the moment, because that's all a bit of a nightmare. But that will come out shortly as well. So we've got Makita back on board with them as well. And of course, PBS with the World 240s. Yeah, it's a big circle with Scott and the team down there. Scott bought the 240s to Rotorua back in 2005. So it's a bit of a full circle for Scott coming back on board with that. But yeah, it is cool. It is really cool.
Yeah, very cool when you take a look at that as well. You're just seeing young Jack, who celebrates his birthday today. I see on Facebook. You can't hide away with birthdays and Facebooks these days. But I know Scott's over there with them, and you wish all those guys, Scotty Tennant, Josh Prentice, and also Todd Hemingway. They've done a lot of fundraising to get themselves over there representing New Zealand. I know you've been there, and Stan's one of the most acclaimed drivers over there. I think from memory, from what a lot of people said in our comments, he's got the highest placing of any New Zealander in the 240. So, when you take a look at this current team of young guns, Jack, Todd.
Lyle Rumney's actually got the highest finishing place. Yeah, Lyle came fourth in Hennisford in 1995.
Yeah.
And I can't remember when Stan's was, about 90 or 8 or something like that. He got 8th in, I don't remember the name of the track, but yeah. He got 8th, and then they did another Coventry, and he got 11th. But just finishing world final is huge. It's huge, and it's a great event. Yeah, it's really good. But we've got good guys over there this year. Like you got Josh Prentice, and those guys are stars. They're naturals, and it's just adapting. Like Scott and Jack having that run, I think is really important. Having that run beforehand and adapting to, it's basically an open wheeler. It's not, you've got no wheel guards, if you run a wheel like you will in a sprint car or modified or anything, and it's adapting to that is probably the hardest challenge for them.
Yeah, yes, Scott's done the right thing. No, I think when we spoke with them about a month or so ago, his grandparents already bought their tickets to go over with them, and it was all foregone conclusion. He was going whether he liked it or not. He was always going to go there, and obviously Todd Hemingway being the new one NZ, and you got young Jack there. We're in a good space with Josh as well. They've done a lot of work. And when you think people are given kindly with all the fundraising, the raffles, whether it's in person, whether it's online, there's a lot of money. It just doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of work behind the scenes, and you got to make it work and get used to the machinery over there as well.
It's absolutely a lot of work. And, what about old Gizzy? They raised so much money for Josh. It was brilliant, as did a lot of other tracks and that, but and it's expensive to go, and you've got to, if you want a decent set of tyres on your car, you've got to fork out a bit more over there for that as well. But it's a great trip, and there's a great memory made.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose in retrospect, like you said, PTS on board now with the 240s, but And I know we bring over the English and the Dutch come over as well. And I don't know what it is, but Frankie Wayman's a name that's been associated with this event. He seems to get himself on that podium. But these young ones that he's bringing through, and we're seeing what they can do in teams events, on the racing as individuals, and we see what they do over there in their own racing. It's just bloody brilliant to have them there on your track.
Yeah, no, it's great. And yeah, this year we've got Brooke Kits in stock car for the Ladies' Crown too.
Yes.
Peter Rees back on board again this year with the Ladies' Crown, so that's great to have Pete back on board. So yeah, we've got one Brit with Brooke Kits, and she's going to be at this stage driving one of Callum Flavel's cars. So yeah, so it's in the stock cars as well with the ladies. So not sure on the guys yet. Of course, that's a long way off yet, and Frankie will be wanting to put his team together, and we've got to wait for the World Final, because the winner of the World Final and the British, they get an entry into the World 240s. So likewise, the New Zealand champ and the World 240 champion get an automatic entry into the World Final. So that's how that works.
Yeah, but been following young Brooke Kitson online as well. You know, she's done a video with their own people over in the UK, and she's promoting the event as well. She's excited, and that's what it's about, bringing the excitement. And when you hear all this type of stuff and they're promoting the event back home over there in the UK, it kind of builds up the hype, you know, and everyone gets behind them. We've got great memories when COVID hit and then the Lions came back with the Wanderers at the same time to teams. You know, it's just like, yeah, the excitement level just picked up big time for that big event in Palmy. Terry Smith, how you going there, Terry? What's happening? Darren Brian Latwood, the Street Stock Champs. Yeah, mate, that's all go there. Carl Carpendale. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. How are you? Michael Patey, mate. Yeah, all good. Great improvements again. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Mike and Moana Miller. They've enjoyed themselves. Obviously, they do their live streaming or whatnot with local gecko over there. But what can the patrons, you know, that come to buy tickets, because there's a lot of off-season work that's been happening, Sonja. You see it on the Facebook. Seems to be a lot of tracks doing a lot of off-season works. What's the latest at Rotorua?
Yeah, well, you know, there'd been a couple of years when we were saving hard for the new administration building, because I mean, you know, there was a cool $1 million went into that thing, and it was, you know, the tight time frame, and we thought, oh, we'll have a bit of a quieter winter, but it hasn't quite worked out like that. We had a section of wall coming out of turn 2 that probably should have been done 3 or 4 years ago, and we were probably pretty lucky that it didn't fall out. But I think everybody on turn 2, did I say? Yeah, sorry. You know, I think everybody knows that little kink in the corner there where the mini stocks sort of tend to end up in there. So we've taken out the kink, and the wall was broken as well. So it was lucky it hadn't fallen out, to be honest. So the boys have been on that, and Tony Cox said has come on board with his crew, and they're pouring the concrete, and Stan and Rod McNaughton and Ozzy, the electrician, and another old boy up at the track there, Pete. They've done a power of work up there this winter. They do a lot of talking. They solve the problems of the world as well between smoke and lunchtime time, but they have done an awful lot of work, and not only the wall. I've been there. I mean, like Stan's been there with his Bobcat, getting all the boxing and everything ready for the wall. But we've done a lot of new lighting out the front and across the new paddock across the road where they've got the car park there. There's all lighting going in there. So there's a lot of new lights around that dark area by the entrance, a lot of lighting there. And we've had to put in 3 new water tanks. We had a old water tank from back in the 70s when it was first put in. That was an old, and it was leaking from about halfway through the year, and we persevered with it, and we tried to find a hole in it, but in the end we had to put in 3 new tanks. So that sort of cost us a bit. And then the old corporate boxes down the end, they sadly needed a birthday for the last few years. So anyway, they've all been stripped out, and work's about to start on those, and we've now let them all for the season. They've all sold already, so they were quite popular, being done up. So yeah, there's been quite a bit of work, a lot of stuff that, you know, the trees, and because we've got so many trees, and it's, you know, I mean, it's all lovely, but it all takes a lot of work, and Rod and Stan and the boys, they've been there sort of 4 days a week out of 5, you know, and sometimes more, getting everything done, putting in safety fences and, you know, extra fencing, and yeah, they've been busy. They have been really busy. Keeps them busy.
We're not going to get any waterfalls coming down all of a sudden, are we?
Oh, not.
Not on tier 3?
It is where it is designed to come over, so it comes over on the concrete and doesn't do too much damage. Years ago, when the track was formed, where that corner is on turn 3, they put in a little pipe that's, really is too small for the job, but of course it's like 20 metres deep now and impossible to get there. So in time, maybe we may put another pipe over the back over the hill, but that's at the moment we just have to put up with what we've got there.
What about the whole new building, the whole concept? I remember when we last got up there and we saw some of the photos, and Stans actually showed Booker and I some of the old photos going way back over many years, which is down below there. But what about the whole new concept of the whole new facility overall? It was a lot of work. You had to remove some of the old toilets that have been there for as long as I can remember. But how pleasing has it been, like for the likes of yourself, Stan, and many others who've been associated with 20, 30 years or even more there? What's it like having a brilliant facility like that now?
It's brilliant, it is great, and it works, like we sort of designed it and looked at it, and then I drew it and gave it to an architect, but then you worry like mad thing that it's not going to work, and but it works, and that was a big relief. And I think one of the best rooms is the driver's rep room, which sounds a little bit bizarre, but the driver's reps can watch the racing from up there, sort of a bit impeded on got to look through a couple of windows, but they can stay up there and watch, and they don't have to be running around, and you can actually take somebody in there to explain things to them as well. So that's been that little room's been quite huge. But it works. It definitely works, and couldn't be prouder of it. It's an amazing facility now.
Oh, definitely. You don't get that edge close sitting right by the start-finish line, When you get there and you hear the roar of the cars before they start up and take off, it's one of the best feelings around. I'm not too sure many other tracks around that country has that close proximity to a start-finish line. It's adrenalizing. And I remember when we took over the crew, Mike and Sam from Repco, and they just were buzzing out for days and weeks.
No, it's good. It's like building wise, once we get the old corporate boxes done, we'll have just about done full circle. We've nearly renovated or rebuilt just about every building in the place. So we've been lucky. We're really lucky. We own our own land. Like I feel for some tracks. You got the likes of Hawke's Bay and Stratford, particularly at the moment too, that are totally hamstrung. Not knowing their future, where they're going to be, or Stratford, but and Hawke's Bay, where it's not your own land, it makes it hard, whereas we're lucky, and we can hire the ground out, like for example, last week we had a dog show from the Rotorua Kennel Association, so we had, a couple of hundred dogs. Place went to the dogs for the weekend, so but we can get extra revenue in the motorhomes, and we dog sports use it, and the Salford City Motorcycle Club, and that's all extra revenue that we are fortunate to get. Like it's sort of a lot of money that we can pile back into the place. We're very lucky. Our forebears were great people.
Yeah, definitely. Got money clicking over 12 months of the year. It's not just solely the speedway season. It's great to see a facility being used like that. And hey, it's an option for many other tracks out there, because financially, a lot of people are doing it tough, especially our border speedway. We're trying to get bums on the sides, on the seats there to enjoy it, But the more you can do, the more you can help. What's Michael Petty got here? Hi, Sonja. How would a average part-time driver like myself gain eligibility for the World 240s? Interesting, eh?
Enter.
Enter, there you go.
Enter. Yeah.
Get a Sue stock and enter, there you go. Any new toilet? Is there any new toilets going up on the back straight?
No, not new toilets. For the Motorhome Association, there's a new shower going into the paraplegic toilet, but just for our campers over the winter, all year round, but an extra shower at the top. But no new toilets.
Awesome.
We're pretty not bad on toilets. The toilets on turn 2 and 4 are getting a bit of a birthday. that's one thing. They're getting a bit of a tidy out and a clean up, and some signs that says which is female and males, which notice that we're just all going on. That's been addressed.
Oh, look, I go way back to the 90s. I remember those old toilets up the top there, but to see what you have now, man, that's a blessing compared to back in the days. I won't go there with that, but it has evolved.
They were bad.
They were
I know
bad.
the ones you're talking about. They were bad.
I remember those. They didn't have lights in there sometimes, people. You had to work out what you were doing. AJ Axton's Mama Sonia at Legend, the windows for the refs are too big, so I can see too much. Can't creep on the red lights. Ari AJ, can't creep on the... Hey, you got a new car, by the way. I see that pitch on the... I see that, eh? Bloody AJ, eh?
How flash is our AJ going to be in these new bloody wheels? Yeah.
You'll get the speed wobbles on the track. He won't know what to bloody do.
Yeah, as long as he remembers to go to the scales, AJ?
Stan and Rodney, the hardest workers ever for a club. What's their combined age? There's a question for everyone out there. Thanks, Wayne, not and put that together.
Yeah, you're in the 150 somewhere.
240s, can't wait. Mike Harvey. Yeah, Mike, I know you enjoyed the last time. And Dave Thomas, Rosebank Speedway, got a new 10-year lease today, which is cool. Good to hear. It's good to hear these positive news coming out from around the tracks. Look, Sonja, let's get into some of these events that are, going to bring crowds through it. You get things just about up and going, dare I say it. It's not far away. Just far away.
Just a little bit on our sponsors still, I just want to mention a couple of others. I did a bit of a package the other day with MTF Finance, and that was a little bit interesting to me. Did you realise that they don't just sponsor vehicle, loan money for vehicles? They loan money for everything, and that's a package back. Anybody want a loan, just recommend that you got the referral from Rotorua Stockcar Club. We'll be grateful for that. Just saying, we'll be grateful for that. But yeah, we learned a lot, and it's the same deal with them. They're going to have a big thing there on opening night, which is our motion. They're going to have MTF Finance. They're going to have a bit of a display there, and like I say, things have changed with sponsorship and that. So we're moving forward with that. But yeah, Motion Entertainment are back on board for opening night on fireworks night. So that's going to be a biggie again. And yeah, they're all good people. But yeah, there's a couple, Fletcher Easy Steel are on board too. And like all members will get a discount off their steel and one thing or another. So we've been busy with a lot of our sponsors behind the scenes as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening, but there's still the naming rights raffle, which closes on the 6th. So there's still the North Island stock cars. That is one of the feature events on that naming right raffle. So get on our website and go buy a naming right raffle, and you can have naming rights maybe for the North Island stock cars. There you go.
Going to do it because our Kokpit show itself were lucky recipients, previous 240s as well. I think it was tier 3 from memory, something like that. But this is your opportunity. Yes, this is your opportunity to jump on board in Motion Entertainment. Well, I tell you what, when you're ever in Rotus, go and check their place out. Take the family along. You'll be there all day. So take a lot of money.
They won theirs in a raffle last year, and they won the fireworks. And then this year they came back to us and said, look, they found that they got real value for money out of it. So, can we buy it? We went, yeah. We'll
You're not going to say no, are you?
Yeah. So, so they're back on board with that. And once again, it's a bit of a two-way street with them. We can help them and they can help us. And that's how it works these days. It's a bit of a different game.
Yeah, there you go. You can check it out. Stock Cars on the 7th of November. It's all double points. Everything there you need to know is on the Facebook page. Adult, children, senior and family costs. Move on through to a bit of a club night. And hey, dare I say, if it doesn't bloody rain, we might have fireworks on the 14th a week later. But that's another good night, club night.
Two rain outtakes for fireworks, and sometimes we've needed it. It's still, Rotorua is not the sunniest place and not the driest place in the country for starters. So, yeah, you just got to do that. And like even later on the year now, we've scheduled, because you can't get ambulances and things like that. So we've scheduled a rain off date for later on in the year for a club night that because last year and the last couple of years, a lot of the minor classes have missed out because we haven't run the big meeting, the more minor meetings have rained off and they've missed out. So we've scheduled another meeting a bit later in the year to make sure that, your production saloons and your TQs and the 6 shooters that we don't run a lot of, that they get their fair share of meetings as well.
All right, to see the month of November out, this is a big event that you don't want to miss out, especially if you love the triple side of things. It's stock car, street stocks, and the super stocks.
Yeah, triples is back on. That was one that suffered with the weather last year. We lost that one last year, but that's real popular, and entry forms will be up for that in the not too distant future. So you can pick your triples, and enter online on that one, so you can get to pick your own team on that one.
Awesome. Always a good event to go along and check out as well. So I just put that date. We move into the Christmas side of things. Not a lot going on. Obviously, just club meetings. But your biggie is later on, though. The North Island stock cars, after Christmas.
Yeah. Between Christmas and New Year was always traditional Rotorua. And we had that 6-day New Zealand Superstock title at that time as well. But so we've gone, because the rest of the year with having Teams Champs is quite busy, so we've gone back to there for the North Island stock cars. So some people it really suits between Christmas and New Year, and some people, I don't want to run it, but I think it suits more because they're off work, at that time of year, and Rotorua is not a bad place for a family holiday, apart from the racing as well. So so we've gone back to there and filled that gap and hopefully can make a good one out of that one.
Should do, I think you track a lot of stock cars. Everyone talks highly of the track in regards to stock cars, super stock drivers, so should be good numbers. You pretty well got it right there when you think Christmas, get through there, get over whatever your delusion, whether it be too much drinking and too much eating. You can travel on the 26th or the 27th and prepare yourself for the 27, 28, which is the North Island stock cars. And don't forget to enter now and jump on board if you want to be one of those associated with the tiers as well. Take a little break. You enjoy the New Year side of things. We rolled into it with the club night on the 9th. Then it's the biggie towards the latter end of January. This is where we get to see all the big guns. It's the what's the PTS?
Yeah, I just noticed that's got to be amended. That one's still there, not fixed. Big thanks to Lala and them for all the sponsorship over the years, and TWS is still propping up, and they did the water truck. They've been associated with the track for a long time, and we're grateful for everything that they did for us over all those years. So, so we've got the PTS World Invitation Super Stock Champs, aka World 240s, and I think it'll be just as good as it always is.
What is it, Sonja, about this event for maybe no one that's not been to? This is some of the top gun drivers in the country up against the overseas drivers. I don't know what it is. Some people kind of put it on balance or par with the New Zealand Championships, but we know the track is a super stock track. We know the sound of the engines, and everyone calls it with the echo around it. It just attracts people from everywhere to the event.
It does attract. I mean, 21 years ago when we first, had it, it was not quarter the size as it now, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And my only real wish that, I'm dead against this flat outside tyre rule because like for super stock cars, everything it has changed things a little bit, but because Rotorua still does have that tight corner and the tight track, it just suits stock cars and super stocks, and it creates its own action. It's I think that's what does it. But it has grown year on year. Like I say, at the beginning it wasn't, we didn't make too much out of it, but now of course it's our mainstay of the year now. And it's great meeting. It's good. It's good to have all the problems here, and it's just something different. It's just good.
Oh, 100% correct, and people, put this in the calendar. If you've never been, and we're very lucky, as I mentioned, take Mike and Sam from Huntley over. We took them over there, sheltered them for the weekend, and man, they got the bug. They want to buy a camper now. They want to park where everyone else is, and Actually, let's talk about that. Actually, that particular area. Holy hell! Is it like first and first? You've got a parking spot down there.
It is, yeah. We don't take bookings for it as such because it would just be a minefield. So, basically, we have a set area, and it is kind of why we sort of ran out of parking there for a few years. But now we've got across the road sorted out. That was last year's project. Stan got over there, and they took out my carpet trees that were in the middle there, and Stan levelled it all off there with his bobcat and grader, and we grassed it. And now, of course, we're going to put better lighting in there as well, and that's tidied up our car park area because the campers had stolen a good part of the car park. They generate us a nice bit of income as well, but they come back year after year because they do.
They could. And of course, not forgetting to the race car Aotearoa ladies stocker crown as well, and that's always good to see the ladies, especially travelling from down the south, come up to make the big drive and get them from
coming back up again. She wasn't going to, but it was going to be her last year, but she got third last year, Sinead McNally, so she's decided to come back up. So we had to do the quick workout whether she was one of the 8 South Island cars or whether she was one of the invite from the first, second, or third. So that we made new rules last year, which includes a maternity leave clause. Which no other race meeting in the country's got a maternity leave clause. So I can assure you of that. So we got that ironed out last year and got some rules in place. But we didn't see Sinead coming with coming back. So there'll be 9 possibilities from the South Island this year. So and one Brit at this stage.
Awesome. Good to see. We'll move on through to February. We bring on mid-February. This is a must for the youngsters. This is pretty well I would say you could say the championship in some sense. Stealth Engineering, another great sponsor. Mark and the crew there, Mini Stocks in Paradise, 13th and 14th.
Yeah, and like last year was entries closed. It was the 183 odd cars. It was full. It's just an amazing event. It's that was another one that started. Oh God, it was second or third year, so 2002 or 3, something like that. And there's now kids in super stocks, and we've got mini stock kids from mini stock kids now quite often. And you look around, and they were the kids, and now they're the dads. It's just magic. It's absolute magic. I love it. I love it. I love the event. It's just, and you see not everybody's happy, obviously. There is the odd unhappy family, and things don't go right. But that's sport. That's how it goes, And now with turn 2 sorted out, that was one of the major factors for sorting out turn 2 because basically a lot of kids did get hurt there, because it had that little hook in the wall. And now we've got a bit bigger toe on it. Maybe we'll roll a few more over, but it'll take the sting out of that little corner too. And also for the big tier with, pushing cars 3 wide and getting them hooked into that little thing. Well, that may be gone as well. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But magic meeting and Stealth Engineering, Mark Osborne from down South Island, he's back on board with that one. So we're lucky one of these sponsors that are back on board again. So
definitely. It's a brilliant meeting, and what you love about it with the boys and girls out there and their different groups and whatnot, juniors, seniors, and so forth. But you also enjoy when you see the families around watching them. It's not the biggest crowd, but they're there with heart and passion to support the children and watch them out there do what they do, entertaining the small fans that turn up. But a brilliant meeting, especially when we talk about the class of mini stocks, and when you take a look at champions on podiums over the recent years, 9 times out of 10 they've come from a mini stock class. It doesn't matter what they've won or whatnot, and it's just a brilliant bloody meeting.
I stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure all 4 of those kids that are in England at the moment are MIP kids.
Yeah, I think you'll be 100% right. I'm not going to argue with you, Sonja.
Yeah, it's got funny. Scott Tennant's the only one that I'm sort of thinking. I'm sure he was, but it's the only one that I've got a question mark on. But the other 3 definitely. Yeah, they all come out of mini stocks.
Scotty.
I'm sure he did, but I just can't 100%.
No, I'm like you. I just picture him in a bloody stocker jumping right in the deep end. That's where he started. And I can just see Dave telling his boy to do that. It's just then
I'd have to do some research.
Yeah, well, there you go. Hey, what you do find out, though, is you find a lot of history about the meeting. And I tell you what, like I mentioned, a few of the names on podiums have definitely come from this class. Then we move on through to, you got the North Island TQ Midget Champs coming up at the end of Feb.
Yeah, we have. Not a class that you would ever associate with Rotorua with having a title there, but they do seem to enjoy racing in Rotorua, and they are magic to watch when you get a full field of TQs. They are magic to watch. I mean, I wasn't much of an open wheeler fan, but they, of course, got the Grandy racing on an open wheeler. We sort of had to start watching, and I really started to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I went to the dark side, but no, I actually, when we get a full field of TQs, they're actually really, really exciting to watch in Rotorua. With it being tight and they're fast and they're quite noisy when there's old bunch of them out there. But they are really good. They're really good to watch. Yeah. Enjoy it.
No, I agree with you 100%. Commentating Huntley, I commentated some of their big meetings over there, and when you see them getting so close and some of the maneuvers they do on the track, some of them are young as well as some of them bloody fast and talented. They are excellent to watch. They're bloody awesome to watch. I know Booker, if he could join us, he was at Miani commentating last season, and he was just losing control of his voice commentating on TQs. The crowd just love it. They bring next level entertainment. They're just so cool.
A lot of the kids that come out of MIP, a lot of them, they don't all go into stock cars. They go into sprint cars and across the field. But a lot of them have gone into TQs as well. Terence went in with, with a lot of his mates from TQs, from mini stock days. They then were all back together in TQs, and it goes across. Those mini stocks that do a service to all the classes, not just the open. The contact classes. They really do a service right across the board.
Yeah, 100% correct there as well. And as mentioned, the Makita New Zealand Stock Car teams, this is it. Obviously defending the big championship back to back. Wow.
To back.
You got to go back to back. Hey, 3-peat.
Yeah, well, the boys reckon they're prime for it. Yeah, I went out with them a few weeks ago, and they're all prime for it.
Yeah. Oh, they would be. When it's on your own track, and they've done it the previous time, obviously, up there in Auckland, back at home, and did it. And you got to be confident. The whole team morale, and we caught up with them at the Speedway Awards recently up there in Auckland, and just the way they dress up. Bar Dion, he had his white suit on. Aside from that, just that morale, and you can see the energy with Tony and the team and everyone associated with them. Yeah, they're on a good thing at the moment.
They were all supposed to turn up with their blue suit on, but not Dion. No. Not Dion.
You got to have that, though. That's what makes a team morale. So when I take a look at that,
couldn't you be more proud of them? Look how good they looked up there. They were just awesome guys.
Yeah. South Island teams coming up for that, obviously. You got a few of those teams. Just got to wait to see how they all plans.
Put the feelers out the other day, and it's to the ones that came last year, and just touched base with them. And it's all looking positive. It's all looking good. Yeah,
awesome.
More as time goes on, but and I hear the other day that Dunedin were looking to come up as well. So maybe even an extra team on last year. So.
Awesome. All right, Sonja, we'll just keep an eye on that. That's another biggie you can look forward to in the new year. Oh, your man's watching. Hey, Sean, how you going? There's Sparky, mate. There she is, our fearless leader, eh? Gee, you got to love it. What else we got here? Trent James, how are you, Trent? Remember World of Stocks? Dave Thomas. Remember they? Going to return any day of that to return? Will that likely return one day?
No. That was my biggest disappointment in all the years of promoting track. It was my baby. I dreamt it up, and I was going to make it work like I made the World 240s work. And I tried for way too many years and lost way too much money because I was stubborn. and I was convinced it was a great meeting. And I was convinced that next year it would be good. But no, it just cost too much to put on. Not enough bums on seats, too many meetings at that time of year. Yeah.
Fair enough.
The concept was brilliant, I have to say. The concept was brilliant, but it just didn't work.
All right, fair enough. End of the day, it all comes down to the good almighty dollar. Brian B-Man Walker, haven't watched a good TQ race since back in the Stratford days. Mate, go and watch the TQs. You'll see it, the slide jobs. You're right there, Madu. The Stormers are coming for you. Richard and Trudy already, they started on the team's race. The old Stratty's coming. The Thunder's back as well.
Yeah.
If there ever was an ambassador for the word magic, you're it.
Oh.
There you go. From Amron, actually, who's going to join us next week. So that's what's happening on the show. Yeah, AMS. Yeah, AMS is watching. So, the AMS Awards. We've got a couple of rain updates and amongst all of that as well. We'll move through to March. We look at a memorial night. Dave, Stumpy. Yeah, Stumpy.
Yeah, we have, rather than having a memorial for individuals, we have one memorial night and for all those that have passed. It sometimes gets forgotten, and like when the track's over 50 years old now, I still respect those foundation members that had the balls, excuse my French, to take on that bit of land, because it wasn't anywhere like what it was. They had to go in there with motor scrapers and make that Coliseum what it was. And the memorial night remembers all those people as well, not just the drivers that won the titles. There's more to it. There's the foundation of the club as well. So we just have the one night and we have a moment's silence for all those that have passed. Your Darcy Hunters that were taken way too soon, and Ray Channing that unfortunately got killed in a race car. It's not just all about the drivers, it's about all those other people that grafted so hard to make the track what it is, and they were an amazing bunch of guys, those early guys.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with our meeting to go along and check out as well, they got full classes. There were 6 shooters. Then, the Hickey contractors, the Easter extravaganza, a couple of days, 4th and the 5th, and take all your chocolate Easter eggs along as well.
Yeah, we always have a bunch of Easter eggs, and of course we've got the Central Auto Dismantlers demo derby at the end of that. So. Yeah, and then that'll be the end of the year, and then the off season will go way too quickly again.
And you're back in talking 26, 27, but the Bay of Plenty Super Stock Champs, Stock Car Champs, Easter Productions are on as well, Mini Stock Champs, Senior Junior, then you got the Easter TQs, Saloons, Street Stock Tri-Series. Holy hell, that'll be the place to be come Easter.
It is. I mean, Easter used to be, Rotorua was really basically the only track that ran at Easter, and it was a huge meeting. Kind of had to pare it back a little bit. No mods this year. Obviously, we've got plenty more on other than the mods, but yeah, we just had to pare it back a bit because so many other tracks race at Easter that it just wasn't viable anymore. So sadly, the mods won't be back, but hopefully, all going well, we might be able to bring them back in next year. But no mods this year, but plenty extra, plenty of other stuff going on, with the Bay. We've shifted the Bay of Plenty Champs back in there because we tried to stand it alone last year and it didn't work. So we shifted it back into Easter, and that'll stack Easter up as well.
Yeah, I just clicked actually. I just realised, no modifiers in amongst all of that. Maybe go along and check out the TQs and everything. How are the Rebels looking? Can you give us any update? Traditionally, Huntley has their early season of teams. Any talk around the Rebels?
Yeah, there's changes this year because it depends whether Michael Brumley sells his car, but there's a couple of cars that might not be available. So Steve Axton's has put the word out to all the boys last week, and they had a bit of a meeting, which I wasn't there the other night, but for any prospective new drivers that might want to be in the Rebels. So there may be a couple of changes there this year, Axe is looking after it, and I think Tony G is going to give him a bit of a hand as well. So got AJ and hopefully the Stewart boys, but there might be a couple of changes there.
Alan going to be around today? Alan McRobbie, was he going to be on holiday? Does that guy have a bloody work?
Yeah. Don't ask me to comment. No, not sure on Alan. There is word that he may have a year off, but you know, the season starts, the fumes start smelling up the nostrils, and you never know what might happen, do you? You know.
He'll turn up 5 minutes before the flag drops. That's how Alan rolls, eh?
Well, yeah, no, probably one. You know, like don't be too generous with your 5. You know?
Hey, I just got to share this, obviously, as we mentioned throughout the evening show. Take a look at this and jump on their Facebook. There's a lot more around this. And like Sonja has made recognition towards sponsors, it's more than sponsorship, it's friendships and everything like that. There's a bit of a look at some of those key dates that you may want to mark down and go along and support the track as well. So as I say, jump on their Facebook page. There's a lot of information there. But there's the other part, Sonja, obviously, where people give in kindness. Your volunteer base, you know, they come along and help out every race meeting. They can be there from as early as and maybe some of the last to leave. And you got to give credit where it's due. You
know, the ones that, you know, that get the biggest battering and the least credit is your scrutineers, you know, like they're there and a lot of the time at lunchtime and you know, like for the big meetings, they're there at lunchtime and they don't leave until late, you know, because they're still weighing coming off the track and things like that. So they've got to stay there, you know, they're not, some of them go, but, you know, so, you know, those guys are amazing, you know. Kevin Orr, who's been our head scrutineer for a number of years now, is taking a step backwards this year, and Wayne Sowery's coming in. So we've you know, they're a big part of it. But you know, like on an ordinary race night, you've got 83 people.
Wow.
To run a track, you know, that's what it takes. You know, that's your cleaners and your gate staff and your security and everything, but that's what it takes at Rotorua for just an ordinary night. You know, 240s and you're up over the 100 by the time you get car park attendants and people putting up tents, and you're well over 100. Oh, on the tents, we've still got a couple of tents available for teams champs. World 240s is only a couple of small ones left, but if anybody wants a tent, drop me an email and for a tent for teams. But yeah, World 240s is only a couple of small ones left and the rest are all gone. But teams champs, there's still a couple of big ones. If anybody was keen on one, drop me an email.
Awesome. Always good to hear. Look, you and I and a few others are up in Auckland at the recent Speedway AGM. And I've just seen some photos here, obviously, where Rob McNaughton, overdue life member, being celebrated. But there was one man that handed over that recognition, Nick Beasley. He's got a strong association. And I just want to get your thoughts, because we had Lala and Vasey on a couple of weeks back around that concussion thing. This is something that we need drivers to take serious. Obviously, a well-known class, 2 classes at your track, stock cars, super stocks, contact classes. But this whole concussion thing needs to be taken seriously, especially when you have one of the biggest meetings where it's got young boys and young girls with the mini stocks class. You got any words you want to share on that? And because where I'm going to with this, Nick actually stood up and I thanked Nick for his speech. That was very
Nick
powerful.
Nick did, and I mean, not many people there, but I mean, Nick has played rugby league in his earlier years and of course was part of the, like, you're all right lad, off you go, you know, even though he didn't know where he was kind of thing. And then he raced street stocks and went on to race super stocks and had a couple of quite serious concussions there. And, you know, I think it's 12 or 13 years later, he passes out, and it's all been back to those concussions back in the day, you know. And, you know, and this is part of the reason why we've changed the rule like we have, because, yes, there has been concussions in the mini stock classes from going into that little nook. But it is something I've always been really hot on, and it's something, and I'll get shot down for this possibly, but head and neck restraints, I'm not a real fan on head and neck restraints. Only for the reason they may say neck injuries, but I don't feel there's ever been enough research done into them whether they are the right application for our sport. And you know, I'm putting it out there, but everybody knows my view on it. I've said it often enough at conference. I'd like to see some more research done as to whether, like, this the impact on the brain by stopping the head so fast with your head and neck restraints is the right application for our sports.
Okay.
But it's got to be taken seriously. I mean, I've had Stan, when he was knocked out one time, fighting me to go out in a runoff, and it's a really, really hard position for a crew or a wife or anything when they are determined that they're going out there, because they have no idea they do, Lily. They have absolutely no idea. And it's, for any crew or a wife or a partner or whatever, it is a really hard position to be in, because they can, the drivers, have no respect for their wives or crew at the time, are really hard to deal with when they are determined to go back out. But you've got to be strong. It's simple. It is that simple, because, like my father was Alzheimer's, quite possibly from too many knockouts in rugby, so it's got to be taken seriously. Absolutely has to be.
Yeah, right at the start of the show, there was a name mentioned there, played for Tasman, Marco, who sadly passed away, I think only 39, to coach rugby. And again, that was stemmed back to ongoing concussions from the sport that he loved. And I know what you're saying there, and it needs to be something serious. And really, this season could be that season. And when you take a look,
the awareness is there now, and it was brought up at conference, and I think we just all really need to be aware that if we suspect somebody, take them to the AMBO, get them checked out, there's a chance that you'll end up at the hospital and be wasting a few hours getting checked out, but in the long term, it's got to be way better. You've got to take this seriously.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, with these big meetings coming up, there'll be the opportunity, I would guess, for people to jump in if they're not going to make it trackside by a live stream. You're going to have that capability again. It's all up and going.
Got a big live stream thing going this year. We've got Jason back on board, who will be doing the World 240s and teams.
Okay.
But then we've got the broadcast company coming in and doing all our minor meetings. Obviously, Jason can't travel up from Invergiggle for all the minor meetings, and he's got all his other commitments, so he can't be committed to the track for all those minor meetings. But we will have the broadcast company, but there'll be more on the website as that gets closer. So a lot of those minor meetings will also be live streamed this year, so you'll have the opportunity to watch them on the live stream as well.
Awesome. Look at Jason Long, you're right, Madhu. He was a great example who stepped away from the super stocks and played obviously top level rugby as well. And I tell you what, still kicks ass in the super saloon, by the way. And he's just got that gift of a brilliant driver. He was great in his prime, but he knew at that stage, and you see him around coaching young kids, the young kids rugby team. He's still involved, heavily involved, but not in that way that we kind of saw him.
Take my hat off to Jason. There's a few of the other stock car drivers that have recognised too, your Thomas Samaways and your Peter Bengstons and your Mitch Vickeries that have decided, well, maybe my body's had enough and my brain's had enough rattling, let's go super saloon, It's there's quite a few of them that have made the realisation that, maybe I've beaten myself up enough, time to move on.
Shit, I'm just thinking now we're talking about this and some of these old names back in the days. I'm thinking, damn, imagine the bloody Legends night at Rotas, eh? Get Lyle back out there and a few of the others. Holy hell. Hey, where's Neville Stanway jump back out there as well? Gee, you bring it back the old Rebels back in the day.
Yeah, there's a few of them. We wouldn't be able to bend half of them to get in the car now.
That's the problem. You don't want to get him back in. They might get their bug for a little season or two and want to carry on.
We had a bit of a funny one. We had Lyle in the water tank, doing the plumbing, because, Lyle's probably one of the best volunteers at the track. He's done that much work around the place, never charged for anything other than, parts and bits and pieces and supplies. But, he's in the water tank there, and he's got a bit of a porch these days, and he had a bit of trouble getting out.
Oh, it's bloody good. All right, Sonja, look, is there any other last words you want to say before we wrap up this evening's show?
No, I think we've just about covered it. It's going to be a busy year. There's a couple other things that may pop up that might happen, but that more of that down the track. But it's going to be a busy one in the valley, and we just pray for a bit of fine weather.
All right, sounds good. Look, it's always bloody brilliant to catch up with you, and keep doing up the amazing work yourself and everyone else that's associated with the track. It's that passion it's their drive and it's their time and energy that a lot of people put into these tractors. It's been great once again to talk to you. Thank you for sharing the calendar for the upcoming season and having a bit of a yak. Hey, we got through it just like that.
Just like that, huh?
All right. Take care. See you. Thank you. See ya. Bye-bye. Sonja Hickey there with the latest going on there at the Tool Shed Paradise Valley Speedway, which you can look forward to getting underway, hey, with the big fireworks coming up on the 7th of November. Just mind as well, there's a bit of practice going on prior to that throughout October, but also green sheeting's only around the corner for vehicles. So go and check it out. Keep an eye on their Facebook page. Everything you will need to know about their big championship meetings that are coming up. They've got a busy schedule. Up the RS, some would say. Yep, the Rebels and obviously the Rascals defending their big championship. Get along and check that one out. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure to catch up with Sonja. Take care, everyone. Be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of the week and hopefully book us back with me next week on Wednesday, 7:30. AMS is going to join us. It's the one you've been waiting for. It's the Amron Speedway of Excellence. Up the AMS, is it? Only AMS, hey, that's what it is. Oh, he want me to say up the AMS, but the only AMS Awards next Wednesday. See you later. Bye-bye.
Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bub and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot, Nanny.